What's going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Do you want to do something dumb? Do you want to take this single action OTF apart? This is the new Draco from Maxace. We're going to take this baby apart. But before we do, I wanted to give a little bit of an update on this thing. So really the only critique from a functional standpoint I can give on this knife so far is with this safety here. It's pretty cumbersome. There's a couple issues with it. It's kind of difficult to use. It's kind of difficult to use effectively. You've seen some people, including myself, fire this knife and not have it completely lock out. The primary reason for that is you really have to get the motion of pulling the safety down and pressing the button. You can't do it in one fell swoop. You need to think of it as two motions. You got to think of it as sliding it down and then pressing. Because what happens is you go to slide this down, you put pressure on it, it fires when you're not committed to pressing the button and your finger kind of slides off of it. And that makes it so that it bounces when it hits this and then it gets caught on that lock and it doesn't always lock out because of this sliding safety and how awkward it kind of is to use it. The other thing is it's very rough on the thumb. You can see, I mean, there's pieces of my skin in there. Sorry, that's gross. You can see that jimping right there. And the same thing happens. You slide it down, you press the button. It fires so hard that it juts forward and it just rakes your thumb on these jimpings right here. If you're firing this thing back to back, right? Obviously, once doesn't really matter. But if you're playing with it and you're firing it a bunch, you're trying to get used to it. The funny thing, this is funny. Before we take this apart, sorry guys, before we take this apart, the funny thing is, they lifted this safety off of the Halo 6 from Microtech, but it had similar issues to the point where they offered the Halo 6 without a safety, and they even had a program where you could send your safetied Halo 6 in, and they'd swap it out for a non-safetied button, because it had similar problems with lockout. I assume because of the same reasons, because your thumb would just slide off of it. You weren't committed to pressing that button all the way in and having it lock out and then take your button off. Now you can do it, but it takes some practice. But that's not the point of this video. I just wanted to throw that in because I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm debating if I'm going to do like a full review on this thing or if I'm just going to let the unboxing and kind of this little update thing take its place. I don't know. Comment down below if I should do a full review on it. There's a couple things I want to mention, but, you know, I don't know. I like this knife, but I don't know how much screen time I really want to give it, being how close it is to a Halo 6. It's kind of in that gray area that's a little uncomfy-ish. So, you know, I feel obligated to feature certain knives because I know people want to see it. And, I'm trying to get good exposure. I'm trying to feature knives that people can get, that they're interested in. But at the same time, I don't want to glorify certain knives more than maybe I should, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to be taking this apart. So, probably should have told you, before you even attempt to take apart a single action OTF, you're going to need a tool. You're going to need a rod. It could be a wire hanger. This is just some wire that I have. Love this stuff. I bought this spool of wire. I don't know what gauge it is. Like a million years ago. It's gone through like 2 different moves with me. And I use it for all kinds of stuff. So I just took a piece of this, straightened it out. And you're going to see why here in a minute. So we took out all those screws. Now we've got to just get this thing apart, which is going to be just finagling and wiggling. You can see it's starting to split up there. Need to do the same down here. There we go. And we're going to lose everything. Everything. What did we lose up here? What is this? Oh boy. Oh boy. Giggity goo. So this pin goes right here, I believe. So let's take a look at the parts that we have. Have we lost anything? Oh no, we haven't lost anything. So we've got this little cap right here, little captured, come on, focus. Captured cap right here. That goes on the butt of the spring. We've got this piece right here that goes on the top of the spring like this. This piece goes on the butt of the spring like that. Over here, come on. Oh, I'm not even in frame. All right, cool. Cool beans. And then here we've got a kind of a cool piece. So this is what that other cap goes into right there. And this actually slides out, but it's captured right in here. So that's kind of cool. What does this say? OEO5. Huh. Not sure exactly what that means. Let me make sure I've got this pin in the right way. Both of these pins, you can see how they're shouldered on one side, so they don't go all the way through, but they do go on a specific side. So yeah, I do want, yes, so the button's on this side. So this one would be like this in here, right? And that is the direction that we would want it to be in. Okay. So what else do we want to look at? Let's take a look here. So here is the back side. This is just the spring for the button. It goes right there. Here's the detent balls right in there. Here is the charging handle that can come out. Slides in here. And this charging handle, actually, you know what? I think I might have this backwards. Because the charging handle needs to go. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hope I got this the right way. I don't know. People might be yelling at me in the comments and saying, this pin fell out. You put it in backwards on the wrong side. So this charging handle wraps around this pin. I'm trying to not let the other pin fall out. Wraps around that pin, and that's what you use to pull this thing down. We'll see if I have this right here in a minute. That goes right there. What are we going to look at? Here is the button. You can see right there, just kind of put in that safety. You can push that through. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I don't want to take that out. So if you're not if you haven't gathered yet, I've already taken this thing apart on my own. It was the first time I've ever taken apart a single action OTF. And I made the mistake of pushing this button all the way through to check it out. And it is a pain in the butt to get back into place. I mean, obviously you could do it, but it is a kind of a pain in the butt. So that's it. Not that hard. Honestly, it's really not that crazy. I think the biggest piece is just making sure that, famous last words, right? Making sure that you don't lose these pins like that. So let's slide this in here. Push that all the way up to the top. I am going to take a paper towel and let the blade rest on it so that it's sitting flat and not angled, more or less, so to speak. We need this, which I shouldn't have taken out. Slide that in. You're going to take your spring, put that in here, put this inside here. Take your cap, put it on there. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. So here's the only tricky part, and it's really not that tricky, is you got to take your piece of wire, whatever it is you've gathered, slide it through. That way you can place that and keep that spring kind of straight on here. So that you can take this now, line it up, put it in place. Are we good? Yep, I think we're good. And then you can just slide this out the bottom. So that is what this hole down here that's in shadows, that's what that's for. Let's put in a few of these screws here. We'll do a test run. We'll make sure that we have it good to go. So this is how most single action OTFs are going to go together. All the ones I'm aware of anyways. I'm not aware of any other single... Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Okay, we are not completely good to go. Knew it was too easy. Too good to be true. see, what do we got here? Okay, there we go. Okay, everything is good now. All right. Just needed to unlock. Look at all these screws stuck to my, look at that. They're all stuck to that magnetic bit right there. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let's get some of these off of there. Come on, get off. Get off. Get off. Screw that one in. We'll do the bottom two. And then we'll give it a test fire. Call it good to go. So not that bad, right? Not that bad. You have some pieces that are a little loose. Yes. You got to make sure they don't fall out. Depending on the construction of the knife, you know, those pins that were stuck in the tang there may or may not be the same, right? They may be captured. You may not have to deal with those falling out. Another thing that you can do that I almost did, and at the last minute I was too lazy to do, is when you take that cover off, you can go ahead and preemptively slide this in to keep that spring from, like, you know, going wonky or whatever. But, okay. Oh. Okay, we are completely not good. There we go. Okay. See, there's that lockout thing, because it's such an awkward thing. Like, you can't, because you're trying to pull down on the safety and then you're trying to commit to the button press, and it just doesn't always work. I had thought about I don't think I will, but I had thought about Loctiting this safety switch. Just putting a little drop of Loctite right there and then deploying it so it's down. Because the other thing is, the safety is only there when it's in the closed position. When you are going to unlock it, you can just straight press it. And I was going to maybe put a little drop of Loctite and Loctite this thing in the open position so that it worked just like a regular button instead of the safety thing. But haven't committed to that yet, so we'll see. Anyways, I'll get these last two screws in here, and yeah, get the last two screws in there, and that's it. Easy peasy, taking those apart. All right, guys, catch you later.